I jerk off at least twice a day. Once in the morning, right after I work out, and then once right after lunch. I do it because I need to.
Mateus, interns at state recruit a group of critics with attitude.
Bruh. I am horrified. What the fuck?
Welcome to the Sloppy Seconds podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Oh no.
Now with more horse.
Welcome to Mr. Horse's Wild Ride.
It's funny because my surname is Horses, so
The ride never ends.
right there.
Never.
Dad, I want to get off.
No.
Well, hello there.
Hello. All right.
You messing with the fonts?
You know what?
Hello, Ginga Man.
I still have access to all this shit. Oh,
You
What?
should.
nah, I haven't paid for it in months. Never mind. Forget.
Man, bear not paying for StreamYards when you could be using Streamlabs for free.
Mm-hmm. So I'm also using this for free, so there you go.
You're a little quiet, Bear.
I'm also using this for free, so it doesn't really matter.
Still trailing off a little bit, Bear. You might want to just stay close to the microphone.
He's
or
still
boost your
using
volume.
this for free because he's got 20 hours that he can use.
Hmm.
Oh, he
So,
killed himself.
Yes, I started reading Berserk a week ago. Was it a week ago?
Been a good
Yeah.
minute, yeah.
Around it.
Somewhere around a week ago, and I'm currently on chapter 135. Who's talking right now?
A 35-year-old male in an SUV. What's happening? There you go.
All right. Well, Sai, push to talk is your friend.
Does it have it on here?
You should be able to, if you had
Not
voice
anymore.
mod, you should be able to use push to talk.
You can also just control D.
Go on.
But yes, I started reading Berserk about a week ago. After Berserker Punished Berserker bugged the shit out of me for about a year to read it, and I finally told him I'll read it if you can show me where I can read it for free.
And funnily enough, I got that to you like the exact second after you said that.
Yeah, actually, you can. It was immediate. It was no hesitation. It was about like less than probably 10 seconds later. I got the link and I started reading. And the writing is something I haven't seen in a long time. And that's good. Good writing. I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's some writing I haven't seen in a long time.
So, any favorite chapters so far that you have seen? Because I think like you're at the conviction arc, right?
Yeah, the Mr. Horse arc was, I think, very compelling.
Yes.
Yeah, it has concluded by now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very, very short arc.
very short arc, about 3 panels. The Lost Children arc, more than anything, was really, really good. It was often horrific. I've I have some reservations about it, but the general gist of it was Guts essentially gaining his humanity back at the end of it and being Guts again. It was kind of the end of the Black Swordsman, but he still has this well of hatred inside of him. So it's he's not letting it consume him as much anymore. And we finally get to see his more compassionate side by the end. And it's like, yep, that's the Guts I know from the Golden Age. The Golden Age arc was, I think, it was a little odd to have that placed where it was. I don't know why that wasn't first, but I'm not Miura. The slug count arc at the beginning, I guess you could call that the prologue.
Well, the Black Swordsman arc, yes.
Well, the Black Swordsman arc is like cut in half, basically.
Yes.
So it was, I think, very well paced. Gave a good, sharp introduction to who Guts is, what he's doing, why he's doing it. Very masterfully told in a show not tell style. That was outstanding. I didn't need a whole expositionary dump of Griffith, my most hated enemy and former friend. How dare you show your face to me? That was really, really good. The way it was, just the way Griffith was introduced. The slug count was a good introduction to what an apostle is, even though we don't necessarily find out the full breadth of apostles until later.
Be careful with the manga panels.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see.
That's kind of why I sent you that video link that shows the manga panels, but they're all censored.
Yeah, this right here is like how Guts deals with things. This is a perfect, like reading it for the first time. This is a perfect like introduction, like really, because like he knows, like the previous chapters were Guts trying to find the snake count. That's why he did all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows where the slug is. So when he knows exactly where you are, he does this shit. Calls him out specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Walks off.
Using the brand to do it.
Mm-hmm. Like this. That's an immediate. Like Guts is not one to mince words. Like Guts doesn't really fucking care about like strategy per se, except for when it's like mid-fight.
I think it's he's just so single-minded in his goal. It's not necessarily that he doesn't think about strategy.
Well, at the beginning of his journey, like he was just pure vengeance. Like he put aside all those things that were still alive to him, just to like pursue all these monsters on the way. And he really lost his humanity in those 2 years, and it took him like some time to regain it. Thanks to Puck. Like Puck is like his moral compass for that time being. I don't think like he would have survived without Puck.
No, he wouldn't have. Puck is the healer, so he definitely.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I think Puck. I told this to Bear the other day, but Puck is the audience. Puck is our anchor, or at least our POV for the Black Swordsman arc, and kind of introducing us to the world, which I think is very well done because you need that comic relief for such a dark manga. I think Puck does a great job at just keeping us, I guess, in the story and giving us a perspective, and also being Guts' moral compass and healer. the Black Swordsman arc, at least the prologue, really does a good job of, at the very end at least, just showing us that Guts isn't all vengeance. When he's crying, walking away from I forgot her
Teresa.
name, Teresia.
Theresia.
Yes. When he's crying, walking away from, well, first off, he saves her with a fucking sword, which isn't how you save people. But when he's walking away from her and he's crying, it just show, not tell. That's telling us, no, he still feels his emotions and he still has some humanity left. He is not a complete bastard, at least not yet. When we go into the Golden Age, we see, how he became that. I think that is some of the most masterful characterization of characters that I've ever seen. I couldn't believe how well we were introduced to Gambino, Casca, Judo, Pippin, Griffith, everyone. Everyone had their own unique personality and had their own wills in the writing, which was outstanding. A lot of side characters don't get, the good treatment when it comes to, writing a lot of characters. When you have 1.5 million characters, a lot of the times they can fall into generic character A or generic character B. But no, these were all very distinct, well-rounded individual characters, each with their own ambitions and motivations. And that is something you don't see very much.
Oh yeah, there's just so much work put into that. Like the Golden Age arc can like work on its own. No wonder like it was adapted like twice by itself.
I mean,
I would say
it's
like,
also the easiest to adapt.
it is very easy because like it's almost just like pure medieval fantasy. Like it has like very little fantasy elements for at the beginning. I think like Zod shows up like very close to the beginning of the Golden Age arc. But other
It's
than
about
that,
halfway
like
through.
you don't really have like any of those fantasy creatures show up until the end, where the eclipse starts to begin. And like, you did like bring up the question, like why didn't Miro just start with the Golden Age arc instead of just doing it like how it did with the Black Swordsman arc?
I can see the argument of why he would start it where he did, because like you want to introduce this character, you have this idea of a character, which
and like the main purpose of Berserk, because like it
Mhm.
is just like the big man going after his vengeance, like his one-man army against the demons. Like if you try to like sell Berserk with starting with the Golden Age arc, then you think like why would he do something like this? Like he writes out all these characters that like are so beloved, like Judo, Pippin, and like all those other like Band of the Hawk characters, but just like so integral to the story. And still, like even after like they were gone, like you can feel their absence. That they were just like so close to Guts, and like you can feel his pain. That like Griffith just betrayed all of them. They were just so distinct from each other. Like so, you can really feel like how well they were written, because it's just they didn't really get like replacements. Instead, you got like new characters which were done well as well. But you can still like feel that Guts is not over that.
And I can see why Mira would start this, because he had a vision for the manga.
It was essentially
this-
going to originally be like a Fist of the North Star kind of monster.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's literally the vibe that I got from it. But you got to introduce his character and then show how he became this character, this vengeance-filled person. So I can totally understand why he would start it there, but it was just like, it's a little odd.
Well, there's also the fact that whenever he was writing it, he didn't know where he was going at the time. But whenever he came across like, oh, I should do the Golden Age arc to show how he got there, it kind of fleshed itself out from there.
You kind of quieted down there. Can Bear? Can you adjust the volume on him?
For some reason no, that's it.
Here,
Everyone,
does this sound better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay,
everyone keeps
I
getting
was saying-
quieter.
I don't know why. It's probably the background noise with my cousin watching TV. But what I was saying is, Mira had an idea going forward, which was the Black Swordsman, and then he got to the point where he's like, maybe I should start fleshing out these characters and see how Guts got there, and so he created the Golden Age arc and let it go from there.
Mhm.
Because he was told that, yeah, you're outlining, but do you really know where you're going? So he quit outlining.
It was one of the more tragic stories I've ever seen because I've seen the '97 anime, and I've seen some of Berserk 2016.
Oh boy.
It was bad, but
Oh, no.
it was pretty rough. Hayo is going to be forever ingrained in my brain.
Yeah, they literally like 90% of the budget, I personally believe, went to Susumu Hirasawa, and then everything else was just whatever.
What?
Those two songs, Hayo and Ash Crow.
Yes.
Man, I'm not getting. Only Mark I can hear clearly.
Really?
That's strange.
Because I just turned my.
Bears is fine for me. Sai is like sometimes that goes really quiet. Do you have the audio saying that like automatically adjust your volume?
No, I have it set to max 200.
Yeah, all right.
You're also capping out your mic. Oh my goodness.
Did
Wow.
you turn on the music?
Yeah, that was me. I'm trying to see.
Barry, you might have to go to your stream settings to fix that.
Yeah.
Well, technical
Settings.
difficulties.
Audio.
Also, do you want me to bring up that?
Imagine this music during the eclipse, while everyone is waiting for Griffith to finally fuck off.
Yeah. Just Griffith, what are you doing? Nothing.
Oh no!
Griffith hatches out of the egg.
This is just for visual aid. It's also censored.
Credit to the almighty Lolly and his was
Over
it
10 hours.
23.
23-hour Berserk videos.
20
Yeah.
hours.
They're great.
23
Go watch them.
this is only parts 1 through 4. This is up to conviction, and it's 17 hours and 15 minutes.
Damn.
Why is he showing all the panels?
He's going over the entirety of the story.
So, yeah, I think Guts is incredibly well fleshed out as a character. You know exactly what is, I guess, driving him forward, which is not a lot. It's swinging his sword and becoming a better swordsman. At first, it was just survival. Then it was to become a better swordsman. Then it was vengeance. And then he's right where I am right now. He's going off to save Casca from the Tower of Conviction.
Okay, so you're getting to the climax of conviction.
Well, it was. Oh, hey, that was the demon that killed Corcus.
Yes. Like when you realize that it's the same demon, you're like so happy to see that happen to her.
Yeah, but why was he fucking it?
I think like Guts at this point lost his like humanity so far that he didn't even
That
care
and-
about rape.
That's the easiest way to kill that bitch, isn't it?
Like he's willing to like go full out just to like take revenge on these motherfuckers. Like he doesn't care at this point. Like he is so inhumane. At that scene, like even like when he meets with Puck the first time, like he's just so close to like kill it.
Mm-hmm.
He really doesn't care about life. He just like just get the mission straight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, that's one of those things that Miura said. Like, if I could, if he knew, like Miura admitted that if he knew where he was going with it, he wouldn't have had this panel play out this
Yeah,
interaction play out the way it did.
Yeah. I mean, Chapter 83 also exists.
Chapter 83 again should not be read until you read chapter 364.
Well, it's a little late for that.
Yeah.
That was. It didn't feel like Miura. That entire chapter. It was very weird.
yeah, and like the funniest thing about it is that like right after it got released, like a week or two after, he said like let's pull it out from the volume edition and like never release it again because it reveals too much.
Well, that and Griffith's characterization is off.
Yeah.
Very,
It-
very off.
Griffith's character is not in that little chapter. It's just Gibwing.
Oh yeah, like
I've orchestrated your entire life, and every victory you've ever won is by my will. Oh, okay, Gibwing.
yeah, but yeah, like a very small thing about like the '97 anime is that at the very beginning in the intro in the bar, like two guys are talking about that ever since Griffith has become king, and at that point in the manga, there were no plans that Griffith is going to become a king. It's just funny that like now it actually happened. Although like Griffith is very straightforward that he wants his own kingdom, but it's just like the anime making that choice is kind of funny.
Yeah, but in like the whole thing about that is like we know some shit is gonna happen because like in the latest chapter, like Gus was asked about Griffith, who he was as a person. And he's like, yeah, he wants his own kingdom, but I know him. He won't just stop there.
Yeah, he would want to take over the rest of the world, if anything.
Yeah.
Make the whole world his kingdom. And like with Golden Age, you see how him, Casca, and Guts all work alongside one another, and how well their chemistry is with one another. That whenever Guts leaves, it literally breaks Griffith, where he starts to act out of character, where he's trying to achieve his goal, but it's not in the way that he normally would.
Like, and that's one of the interesting things about Guts' characterization is that he, at that point, does not realize his own value. Like he still considers himself just a dude who swings a sword. Like just like any other dude in an army who swings a sword.
That's all he's ever good at. That's like what he says about himself.
Yeah. And that's like who he sees himself as. I'm the guy that can swing the sword better than most people. But he said as much in the Bonfire of Dreams.
Yeah.
Like he killed 100 men, and compared to the things that you and Griffith are striving for, what I did is little better than a random act.
I guess if we're gonna discuss Berserk, we might as well just start at the beginning, and go all the way through, I guess, Conviction, or at least Lost Children, since that's the last arc I read.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, starting at the Black Swordsman, I think, he very clearly doesn't care about himself or his own body. It's actually a little horrific watching him just rip the shit out of his own body just to kill a single demon. and with Snakeman, he basically sacrificed a town to kill one demon or to kill one apostle. That is
And we're seeing that here on the screen. He's just taking lashes, taking hot irons to the body
mhm.
just to draw out one guy because he doesn't quite know exactly where the guy is.
Actually still think he has a fucking kick-ass suit of armor, the Snakeman.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The armor always looks fucking fantastic, especially for the apostles.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jesus, that armor looks amazing. But yeah, Guts really just doesn't care about his own life, and I think that's a very good way to show that is that he's just going through this torture. We don't need to see an inner monologue with him. Oh, look, demon fetus. This is another thing of show not tell. Obviously, this thing is important to him or something that haunts him because it keeps showing up. It's never explained. It's never really talked about until Casca miscarries.
Yes.
But yeah, I think this entire chapter here it serves to show his character about who Guts is, and then seeing him almost break. The links he'll go through just to kill a single demon, and then at the end with Teresia, he breaks, and that those tears start to fall. That even after all that, he's just hated and reviled. He even saved this little girl, and she says she's gonna kill him. And he's like, well,
he did that for her because whether he told her to kill herself or not, she was headed down that path anyway.
She was like so suicidal. Like Guts like had to think of like some way to like save her. Like if making himself the worst person ever is the way to like at least like give some motivation to her life, then so be it. That's but it's like so tragic as well. Like he's willing to go to that extent to make himself hated just so like other people are not gonna kill themselves. It's like it's so sad. Poor guy.
He basically makes himself the villain for other people to latch on to something to keep them going.
not people, that one person, because he doesn't do it again.
Wait, the village in the Lost Children arc, because like he pretends to be like taking a hostage the girl. And,
Yeah, to get away.
yeah, and like
It's not to
immediately
give
after
them a
that, like
villain.
he is like kind of like sorry, so like he uses a puck so the girl's wound can be healed.
Mhm.
Like he really doesn't want to kill innocents. Like a lot of people like call like Guts like an anti-hero. He is very nihilistic at the beginning of the story, but like really he doesn't want to like have innocents die on his watch. Like that's why he's like going as far away from society as possible because of like the brand and the consequences of that.
And then
Well,
at the same
I will
time,
pause there. Hold on, Bear.
though,
Hold on, Bear. I brought this up to you the other day while it was on the screen while I'm thinking about it. What I thought for Guts here, where he's talking about only the strong have the will to live, or the strong have the right to live because they've earned it and they can fight for it. Stuff like that is stuff that he has to tell himself just to keep him going forward. If he thinks something other than that, it's really a coping mechanism for him on this path of vengeance that he's on. It's all that he can latch onto, and it's the only ideology that can keep him going forward and make sense of everything that happens around him. Because everywhere he goes, well, this shit happens. An entire village burns down, children die, and it's the only way he can really make sense of it.
Like also, like he grew up on the battlefield, so that's the only kind of life he ever experienced, really. Uh, there's no room for anyone who's too weak to survive there.
Yeah, and that's also carried over into the Lost Children arc, where he tells Jill, go back to your battlefield. I think that, God, right in his eye too. But
Yeah.
I don't think that we're shown, despite what Guts is telling us, that that's not who he really is. Just by him
Yes.
crying at the end of the
Yes.
chapter.
You can tell that everything is starting to catch up to him. All the trauma.
But it's more than that. It's that this isn't who he is. This hateful, vengeful, willing to sacrifice others. That's not who Guts is. Even though that's kind of what we're seeing from him up to this point, and that's what he's telling us. But then at the end, it finally broke him.
Yeah, well, like you also have like the scene that preceding that, like when he was meeting the God Hand after the long time after the eclipse, and he had the chance to like almost kill Griffith, but then like it just bumps down to him that like, well, like I'm fucking useless against him. I can't even touch him, and like I almost died by being dragged to the void. No, it's like the abyss. That's what it's called. Like it's also like showing like how horrifying that world is. Like the moment that you're branded or like you don't do like what the God Hand demands you to do, you're just gonna be dragged down to that whirlpool of absolute torture. And you're gonna scream for the eternity. And that's the kind of like shit that like all Guts' friends go through. It's absolutely horrifying.
And he, when he was in the, I guess, what is it? The Abyss. Well, the realm is called the Abyss, but then because it draws a distinction, the realm that they go to is called the Abyss, and then the
The
spiral is called the Vortex. Huh?
Like I can't remember the artist, but it was pretty much like a one-on-one depiction of like that famous painting.
The
where,
Infinite
like,
Stairs and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
MC Escher.
Yeah, there we go.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, when he's there and he's getting dragged off, instead of shooting the tendril of demons that are dragging him off to hell, he takes a last shot at Guts, or he takes a last shot at Griffith, and Griffith just blows it up before it ever reaches him.
Yes.
And like that, that shows you exactly what kind of person Guts is at this point in his life. Why are we watching Demon Slayer?
He brought up the comparison of how demons are humanized in Demon Slayer compared to how they are in Berserk.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like-
I kind of got that. I kind of got that because Bear got tired of the backstory no jutsu when it comes to the demons in Demon Slayer, and I looked at Rosine and I'm like, she got a backstory no jutsu.
Sort of.
But that's
I mean, like the pacing
That's
is
one.
a lot different though. Like Demon Slayer always does it that like just before they die. It's kind of like pulling the JoJo shit.
Yeah,
just
no, I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
Person.
I'm agreeing with you. However, there's some really good backstory no jutsus, like Gyutaro's.
Of course.
And Gyutaro and Daki, that was really good. You'll see. I won't spoil it, but in the manga, there's a few good ones.
Did I skip where you asked me to, Bear?
No, it's the end of the count fight. It's going to be farther along than this.
Yeah, Ryu, he doesn't have a very good backstory.
I was sick, and now I murder people.
I was sick, and then a vampire made me not.
Oh god, Dio is in Demon Slayer now?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Michael Jackson is.
God,
Michael Jackson.
Nosferatu Zod is fucking crazy.
He's awesome.
Anything else we need to say about the Black Swordsman arc?
Nothing.
Here's wanted me to get to here.
Well, it was just just the visuals of it.
Anything you'd like to get my first impressions on as far as the Black Swordsman arc?
Oh, the ability. I remember you bringing up the abilities of the God Hand.
Yes.
Black Swordsman. They're just able to like rip open portals in time to show Teresia.
Oh yeah, that
her
was a
parents-
weird thing that they could have just like shown a PowerPoint presentation or just like shown a vision of slug rape. Shown a vision of what happened in the past, but the motherfucker literally said this is this is a rift in space and time showing you what happened in the past. Like, did he what? Did he just open up a wormhole to show what happened in the what?
I wonder if like that was like a mistranslation or something, because like I looked up like parts of some threads about the translation that Dark Horse Comics did, and apparently like the count when he has to talk about like where the God Hand is, then he says something that I'm gonna send you to God's mausoleum along with everyone else, and that is like very different than what the English translation officially did. It's like kind of like giving some hints that like the idea of evil is a thing. Like it's one of the few confirmations in the story.
I mean, I'm okay with that, but as far as I know, the Dark Horse translation is the official.
Yeah, that's the official.
It is.
And it's good, but like like there are some of these bits that are just like people have noticed that like it's different from the Japanese. Like the context is a bit boiled down, but yeah.
Well,
Otherwise,
that's always going to be a thing.
Yeah, it's always gonna be.
He really does look like Kintaro, or no, wait, who's Fist of the North Star?
Kenshiro.
Oh, Kinshiro. There we go.
Well, Fist of the North Star was one of the inspirations for him, but like I would say like most manga artists have like Fist of the North Star as their inspiration if they have started working in the 80s.
like Dragon Ball was an inspiration.
Yeah.
It's just one of those it's just one of those ubiquitous manga, which Berserk is a part of now.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many manga now are inspired by Berserk.
And video games. Don't forget about them.
Oh yeah.
But like on top of
specifically,
like on top of
That
you can
was
definitely
my favorite like panel of the guts, like when he's laughing.
You can definitely see a lot of like Devilman inspiration, and especially in some of like Guts' most rage-filled moments, especially in the Black Swordsman arc. It's like straight up like Devilman, like coloration or shade, or rather shading around his cheekbones and eyes.
Hi, Void.
fuck you, Griffith.
Yeah.
Griffith. Yeah, it was. You would think that from this image that Griffith would be the head of the God Hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is. Isn't he like the?
Like, he's kind of like the figurehead, I would think. Void seems to be the
puppet.
Well,
Void is the brains.
Griffith is the vanguard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like that's what he's best at.
Hmm.
He's got the charisma.
Yeah.
Like each of the God Hand have their own like respective things that they're good at. Like you'll come to see later that Salon is typically around when like debauchery is happening. That's how she manipulates the real world. Ubik is kind of like, a little like puppet mastery, kind of a snake oil salesman type. Conrad is the one that manipulates like disease and plagues and all that shit. And Void, he's the one doing all the calculations and shit.
His name is Conrad.
Yee.
What up, Zach Hawkins?
Hey.
Yeah, did Sai or Mark have any, want any first impressions from me?
I think we've pretty much gone over everything with the Black Swordsman arc, aside from, the first meeting of the God Hand and him trying to take a swing at Griffith, or who we are supposed to think is Griffith at this point, and see how he's supposed to get there come Golden Age, and just see the gush of blood from the brand,
Mm-hmm.
and just how much power these people have.
Yeah, you see him you see him basically fight for his life with the Count, and they're just looking down on the Count. Like the God Hand recognize the Count as weak.
Because compared to them, the Count is literal nothing.
So, God, he looks so stupid. Sacrifice your daughter. Sacrifice your daughter.
That was like a very nice touch that like the slug count ends up that like he doesn't have the heart to sacrifice Dara and instead just dies. I it's like that small bit of humanity that he has left. Like felt like wow, even if you become an apostle, you can still like retain that because you cannot see that with any of the God Hand members. They're just absolutely devoid of all humanity.
Mm-hmm. That's another one where I'm just like, the God Hand really does have no humanity, and that's what makes Griffith that much more tragic of a person.
It makes what he did all the more heinous. Because
Mhm.
it is Guts at this point now knows it is possible for an apostle or someone who has the prerequisites to become an apostle to not take the power. Like
Yes.
that is 100% the choice of the person with the ballot. And Griffith still chose to sacrifice.
One thing I want to touch on before we leave the Black Swords Monarch is how well it follows a series of progression. Like it follows logical cause and effect, where it's something big like the Slug Count loves his daughter, and even though he doesn't want to die, he loves his daughter more. And he's willing to give himself up for his daughter. I think everything that Guts does is well in line with what we're shown who he is, as in, Vargas. Like, for example, using Teresia as a human shield because he knows the Slug Count won't hurt her. Going through all that immense pain, just getting close to Griffith, and still taking a swing at him, and then being dragged off to the vortex by a tendril arm, and still taking a last shot at Griffith. It's
Yep.
it's quite an impressive series of events that actually follow a logical progression of cause and effect. Instead of just this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a very much a but therefore, however, way of writing. This happens, but it can't happen because this is happening. Therefore, the character needs to do this. Stuff like that. It's something I don't get to see very often.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
the
kill
essence of
yourself.
Berserk is right here. And like it only gets better from now on.
I think that about sums up the Black Swordsman arc.
Yep.
All right.
Golden Age.
Sold into Golden Age.
Guts, that is not how you save children.
It's how you save children if you're a Gus.
It's how you save children if you're Guts.
Well, I mean, like he saved them better than in the Last Children arc, but
Save them better in the Lost Children arc. He burned a forest down around a child.
hey,
like, oh hey, this
never
is,
do, never
Hey,
do
fuck
health
you.
measures, okay?
There is no hay. Fuck you.
and I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of
Never
day.
do health measures.
Yes, law of
Griffith
power
looks-
15, crush your enemies entirely.
Griffith looks so weird in these early drawings.
Very, very weird.
So what do we want to hit first?
I think might as well start with Gambino.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Being
Oh.
Gamma?
The old childish Gambino.
Yep, good old Gambino. What about him? He's a horrific character.
Yeah.
You could probably just select the point in the scroll bar.
Doesn't it have like chapters?
No.
Not in this. Not in the mega thread. No.
Damn it. Hey, that's my background.
Is it?
It's such
I
a
don't believe
it's such a good
Yeah.
picture.
I can show it to you.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on Gambino?
He's a bastard. Really only sees things as how valuable they can be to him. Guts among them. He just sees Guts as another mouth to feed. But hey, maybe this kid can actually make me money or bring me beer or whatever. When Guts starts actually, going to battles, he's like, hand me the spear and doing all that, basically being his squire. And then Guts finally kills a person and gives Gambino the money. So he's really the only father figure that Guts even has. As fucking horrific of a father figure he is. Yeah, truthfully, he doesn't care about Guts. And he can only see him as a source of profit. So when Donovan offers him a sack of silver, spend the night with Guts, he doesn't even think about it.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, whatever. Like, literally, I hope this little bastard dies on the battlefield at some point.
And like I think like the most horrifying thing is that like Guts, even after Gambino's death, like he still thinks about him as like a good person. That like, like he taught me so much. I gotta rely on that training. And like it was all my fault that like this happened. Like the consequences of that. Like I should feel ashamed for that. It's like he has the Stockholm syndrome almost. And he's still sticking to him like a dog. What the Gambino refers to him. Like
he mentioned it when he and Costco were intimate with each other. Like,
yes,
Gambino is the only person I've ever felt guilty about killing.
yes, It's so weird. Like he's finally having the time of his life, and like then it just comes back to him. It's, Guts is like the most tragic character in manga.
He is, and just seeing how he goes through his own character growth from Golden Age and then going back to Black Swordsman, and then you come into Conviction after Golden Age. You see, after seeing how he became the Black Swordsman, it really shows you how much he's grown and is still growing.
And going back to a logical progression of cause and effect, of course Guts would feel that way about Gambino. Gambino is the one that raised him. Gambino gave him the only life he's ever known. He was raised in a rough camp. It was a rough camp of mercenaries. Wasn't like the Band of the Hawk. No, these were ruffians. These were hooligans. These were robbers. These were murderers. And that's who he was raised around. His own mother was a simple woman, basically.
Whore.
Literally a
pretty
camp
much.
whore.
Yeah. Like not even a wife, if I recall correctly. It's just like Gambino just picked her up because like it needed like a cum dump, pretty much.
Yeah, and
But she was his favorite. So.
And then like the worst thing is that like just before Guts like finishes off Gambino, like Gambino feels the need to like rub it in his face that like it's all because of you that Shisu died. Like, oh god, like just stop.
Well, that
Stop
plays
pressing this poor kid.
that kind of plays into the bad omen that they considered a childbirth from a corpse to be, because that's
Oh,
how
yeah.
they found him.
Oh god, no.
Donovan, no.
Donovan, no, don't.
Sundowner.
Kids are cruel, Jack, and I love minors.
So, what are your thoughts, Zach? At the start of Golden Age here.
Holy fuck. Those are my thoughts. Guts is a pretty ruthless kid.
As we see,
Kills his rapist, which is based.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, he can't really get over it. And it's, again, one of the most tragic things I've ever seen in my life, because he's literally, the only time he ever feels safe is sleeping with his sword. This little kid has to sleep with a sword by his side every night just to feel safe. That's his teddy bear.
Like, what happened? Like the one time he didn't have his sword right next to him.
Yep. He got fucked up.
And even then, later, what we just saw, he kills the enemy general, gives the money to Gambino. Gambino hits him.
And tells him to
you-
bring meat for the dog that he apparently cares more about than Guts.
Yes. It's this is the scene.
Yeah,
I love it.
And also this.
And just right through the neck.
my first thought was, how are you talking?
That's how.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, not a whole lot to say about Gambino. Just he's a shitty person, shitty dad.
Good riddance.
But without Gambino, Guts wouldn't know how to handle a sword that's larger than himself.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he literally this is. I mean, kind of because of Gambino Guts is the way he is. Well, it is because of Gambino Guts is the way he is. The only thing that he knows is fighting and survival. Even his first night outside of the camp, he gives up, but he's just swinging the sword just to keep going.
He actually wanted to die there, and his body just kind of reacted.
Yeah, and that never stopped.
Causality.
That never really stopped. He just went from battlefield to battlefield, just fighting. That's all he knew, and that's all he really lived for, was another day of fighting. So, moving on from that, I want to talk more about his meeting with Griffith.
All right.
Well, you want to talk about Bezuso?
Who?
The most important character ever, Bezuso.
Who?
The guy that he fights before meeting Griffith.
Like the 30-man killer,
Yamato.
Bezuso.
The Dark Souls character.
Neat. That's all I got. Is that it? Is that all we got?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, there we go. Let's see. Meeting. I guess the Band of the Hawk on the side of the road.
Corcus is a retard.
Yeah, Corcus, the fucking idiot. He killed the enemy general, like the toughest guy in the army. So let's go rob him. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna go great.
Let's go. Let's all three of us go rob him. Dan and Earl, you go first.
Yeah, that was a weird decision. You should be able to just find it in the scroll bar, Bear. You should have a preview if you just hover over the scroll bar. You'll be able to find it easier.
This is Cyrus doing this.
I'm trying to get to the meeting with Griffith.
Yeah, if you just hover over the scroll bar, you'll be able to see
This is what happens.
where you want to go.
It is good.
That's it.
It's kind of weird that his helmet looks like a football helmet. Onion Knight.
You'll figure out why.
There's like a hidden way to tell that Guts is American.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Because he
figure
has
out
a football
why.
helmet.
Wait, you figure out why his helmet is shaped like that? Why?
You'll find out.
You'll find out.
What do you mean? I'll find out.
It's later, but you'll find out.
Yes.
The fuck?
Mm-hmm.
The laws of causality.
Kinda.
How about you just go ahead and tell me? It's the
No.
shape of his helmet.
It kind of goes into spoiler territories.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's the shape of his helmet.
No, well, it's not the helmet shape. It's just where he got all that gear in the first place.
Oh, you mean that flashback chapter much later?
Yeah.
On?
Spring
Okay.
Powers of Distant Deeds.
Yeah. That was like cool. That was cool. Like addition. Like I remember like when it first came out, like a lot of people were angry because like I think Guts and Co were still on the sea.
They were on that fucking boat.
Yeah, the boat arc.
Wait, what?
Zach, you're not going to.
You don't have to experience it, dude.
Yeah,
You
because
don't have to experience it. Oh god.
Yeah, the problem is like they spend like you'll get to this eventually. There's a boat that they take to go to Puck's homeland.
Mind you, the chapter started in 1996.
Yes, and then Miura took a 9-year break.
Okay.
And
like,
then he took another
people went
break
insane.
shortly after the next chapter.
Yeah.
They were still on the boat whenever I was in high school in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
On the boat.
Yeah,
On
the boat.
Yeah.
Billy
The boat.
boat.
Billy boat. Yeah. I miss Billy Goat.
What the fuck?
Yep.
You're a why? On the
you are
even
you are
when he
so lucky you
returned-
don't have to sit through that shit.
And even when he returned to write more Berserk, he decided to like derail the plot to some other like characters, because like you really just want to like see like the guts part like progress, and it's, it goes like to other characters.
It does go to other characters, but it fleshes out things a lot more.
It's really good. It's really good once you like have all the chapters to read through. But oh god, like the wait,
The
was just
wait,
so-
the wait was awful.
Literally just waiting for it.
like I remember when I started like introduced to Berserk in 2008, and I had like a guy was telling me that like, is the guy dead? Like, is Mira dead? And like I was like, too soon, dude.
what the fuck? There's so much about Miura's decision making that I question.
He okay. So to give you some perspective on this, in 1996, whenever he was on that 9-year break, he was doing another manga series to lift
Gigantomachia.
himself out, of the depression that he was in from writing Berserk.
Uh-huh.
And then after that break and releasing a couple more chapters, them still being on the boat, he went and started doing gacha games, and then he made an idol manga, like an idol girls manga.
I thought Berserk was his passion project.
It is,
It
but you can
is,
get burned
but
out
it
on your passion
breaks.
projects.
Is like the biggest burnout was when he drew like one of like the big fights with Griffith and like the demons. Oh god, like the detail on that thing was just so much.
Yeah,
that,
once you
like
once
he was
you get
exhausted
to
and like he couldn't like do anything for 3 days.
yeah, once you get to fucking that, you'll see why Miura decided to take a break. Because holy shit, like if the art impressed you up until now, then yeah, that is
Just
gonna fucking blow your mind.
wait.
It is gonna blow your mind. Like it, like right before the art peaked, like right before they got on the boat.
The fucking boat. You keep talking about the boat.
You'll
will
find
get,
out.
Like like how I see it is that like you're very enthusiastic about Berserk. So like I think like you will get to the boat in like a week or even less.
I think he's gonna get to the boat in this weekend.
Yes,
Probably.
With how
Probably.
fast he's
Like-
reading. With how fast he is reading, he's gonna get to the boat this weekend.
Yeah, like he started last week.
4th of July
and-
is like a bank holiday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
but
I
you're
work
gonna
on
be
Monday.
on the boat by that time.
I mean, all yesterday. I haven't played video games in like a week.
You don't need video.
Just reading Berserk.
Yeah, I've just been reading
more.
Berserk.
Berserk is the best video game.
Speaking of, there is a Band of the Hawk game. It's a
I know
Dynasty
about it.
Warriors. It's a Dynasty
Berserk,
Warriors.
yeah,
No.
Berserk Musa, yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting it.
Well, I was pulling up like Berserk fan animations on YouTube earlier today, and I saw a thumbnail that was just Guts writing Zod. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yep.
Like,
Also-
what the fuck are they doing in these games?
That's an actual
There-
thing.
There is one game. There is a game that is sort of canon
Uh-huh.
that takes place near the end of Conviction.
You mean the Sword of Berserk,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Berserk Guts
the
Rage.
Dreamcast game? Yeah.
Yeah, the Dreamcast game, which was written by Miura himself.
All right.
And the soundtrack was made by the same guy as the '97 anime.
And
So-
then have you ever
There's no
played
pain. There's no shame.
No,
Okay, well,
Susumu
we'll-
Hirasawa.
The actually good songs.
yeah,
not the meme one.
the good songs.
Specifically Forces. That's the one. That's the one.
Uh-huh.
Forces and Ashcrow are like some of the best shit that Susumu Hirasawa has ever made.
Man.
Oh, Zach,
else
you'll
do we-
know. My brother is one of the ones Susumu Hirasawa made.
My brother. Come join me. I think that's on my soundboard. Nah, not on here. But Guts running into the Band of the Hawk, getting chased down, killing like 2 of their members. Corcus giving him shit. Hey, we were only trying to rob you.
We were only trying to murder you and take the money that you earned.
Yeah, that fight with Griffith was pretty good.
I like the fact that they showed a shoulder wound actually hurting him, or like actually hurting a person in general in fiction.
Well, yeah.
Like, oh, it's just a shoulder. Like, oh, it's just an area.
I've had surgery on my shoulder before. I can tell you it's debilitating.
Yeah.
Any part of you that gets hurt fucks you up.
Yeah. Like, first
you have
of
a
all,
paper cut on one of your fingers. You can't hold shit right.
Like,
I know. Like I had like a bicycle crash into me like a week ago, and I still feel it in my foot. God damn it.
Yeah, it's because you guys aren't tough.
I mean, I was tough enough because like he fell off from the bicycle after that, but like I was still standing. But
I'm still standing.
I mean, maybe if you swung a 500-pound sword around, you'd be able to take bike hits.
you know what? You know what? I was thinking about that. Like I was thinking, like, why didn't I charge at him like screaming like a madman? But like, I disregarded him.
Yeah, oh man, going into Guts's rage, just, yeah, him that entire Rosine fight was something else, man. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in manga or anime. Just that entire Rosine fight was just pure rage.
Yeah. But so yes, the manga is in black and white, but have you noticed the difference between the red Baylets and the actual Baylets?
Yes.
Okay. Because the manga being in black and white, it's kind of hard to tell which ones are the red ones and which ones are not.
I mean, we've only seen one red one.
That's true. We've only seen one.
Well, yeah. I mean, the regular ones are the tasty ones, apparently.
I think Amira said in an interview somewhere that if somebody were to eat a Baylet, it would taste like a potato. But
he did.
Why is it always potato?
If they were to eat a Baylet, it would taste like a potato. But then, because they ate the fucking Baylet, they would have nothing but bad luck for the rest of their lives.
Oh, what about the Skull Knight then? Oh, so that's why.
It's because Skull Knight is. I mean, the Skull Knight had like literally the most bad luck you could ever have when encountering a Baylet. So I think well, my skeleton horse lost a shoe. Okay.
You know, like after like 1,000 years, you would think that like he would have learned his lesson, but poor skeleton.
Whatever. I got a sword to make.
Yeah, that was something. But this entire panel, which I'll send to the group chat, was something else, man.
Oh yeah, like Guts specifically like running to send himself, running into fire because this little fucks off of him.
Like just diving into fire to set like literal demon children ablaze.
I just want you to know, the Lost Children arc took an hour and a half for Lolly to actually get through.
Well, there are like a lot of things happening in it, even though it's like a very short arc compared to like all the other ones.
I imagine the almighty Lolly would take his time on the chapter with a lolly.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, and you haven't
have you-
even seen the Lolly of Berserk, so
Mhm.
I
That's
I
Shirky.
did.
That's Shirky.
I did.
He's a good
Its name
he's
was
a-
Rosine.
Shirke,
No.
yeah.
Shirky.
Who? What now?
You'll meet her soon.
But yeah, that entire fight was something else, man. I hadn't. It was a little weird because I hadn't seen Guts get that angry in a fight before, except during the eclipse.
this works. This works very well.
Oh, you can do
Hmm.
this now. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Zod casually like
Yeah,
decorating
at
his
that
room.
point,
People.
yeah, it's like at that point, like, oh, 9 foot tall naked man with guys on his sword and pile of corpses from both my friends and our enemy.
I'm gonna charge at him. I'm gonna
Okay,
have
bye.
hit.
Like if it was me, I'm like, hey, bye. I'll come back when fucking howitzers are invented.
It feels like
Yeah.
Zod is really big on these panels, but like much later chapters, like he's just like 6 or 7 foot tall guy.
No, he's still pretty fucking big.
Yeah, he's about no Guts is like 6'7".
Yes, yeah. He's a pretty big guy himself.
Or you?
For you.
Oh wait,
Or you.
go back to that frame and pause, like right as Zod is beginning to swipe at him. Like, look at how fucking big Zod's fucking paw is.
Yeah,
in comparison to Guts.
Zod's paw in comparison to Guts is pretty much his entire fucking body.
Like, yeah, I was like, literally.
When I was reading this, Bear and I were Bear was in the call with me when I was reading this. I ended up on screen and we were just monologuing as Guts, just like, "Sir, are you like a cat, lion,
Like
panther? I'm gonna go with panther. You got the horns, which is like
you got the horns. The horns are throwing me off, and
you got the
goat
hooves
feet,
too.
goat feet. Yeah, that tail's
Something
kind of weird. And
But the tail's throwing me. Oh, fell jeepers!
Fucking furries.
He's like trying to figure out what the fuck Zod is.
And then cut to this panel where Zod's
Jeepers!
about to hit the entirety of his body with one hand.
And just tosses him into a fucking pillar.
I'm going to hit your everything. My what? Your everything!
Zod is like, it's just a prank, bro.
Prank him, John.
You seen the prank?
It's a prank priest.
Zod early on was one of my favorite apostles, but Zach is going to meet one of my other favorite apostles coming soon.
Oh,
Rosine.
egg.
No. Not-
You
not
mean
the
one,
egg.
one that is still alive?
One that is still alive, yes. As of the most recent chapters, he is still alive.
Is it the deer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
But yeah, going back to
Damn it, Eric.
that
I was
meeting.
gonna say all the apostles in like the most vague terms possible.
I mean, yeah.
Going back to Guts meeting the Band of the Hawk. Everything with Griffith is he's shown to be like otherworldly at that point. He's almost ethereal. At that point, because everyone, like, number one, his word is absolute. No one is questioning him. Two, he's enrapturing Guts as he talks to him. And which
words
is
and
something that he
action.
hasn't encountered before. Go ahead, Bear.
Like he's enrapturing Guts with both word and action. Because Guts has never met anyone like fast enough to get past his blade. Or, skilled enough to be able to deflect it, especially with like a saber.
By the way, I wanted more of this, more of Guts and Griffith teaming up.
Wombo combo, wombo combo.
Oh, that ain't Falco. That ain't Falco.
Fuck you! I'm gonna throw my arm at you.
So, are you guys watching the Berserk Saga? No, we're not watching it. We're just kind of talking about my first impressions because I've just started reading it.
And we just have these
purely
up
there
for visual.
visuals. Yeah.
It's just something nice to look at.
Plus,
But,
it has all the titties censored out, so that way we don't have to bring up the manga. Because then YouTube will just, strike us down.
Yeah, that panel is fucking. That panel of Nosferatu Zod is incredible. But yeah, what can we talk about with Griffith meeting Guts for the first time?
Well, with
Well,
meeting-
the question that Guts asked.
Are you a homo?
Yes.
Yes,
that was a good question.
I am.
I mean,
He's a homo for
Griffith-
money.
he's a homo for becoming king.
Mm-hmm. Like, man, I ain't into fat, old, like greasy-haired, bell pepper nose having old men, but like 20,000 gold is 20,000 gold. So
It's true. And Griffith's got that bussy because he never got it out of his mind.
I
That Lord couldn't let him go. Griffith got the bussy.
can't get you out of my head. But yeah, like I do enjoy like Gus's introspection about that whole thing, like looking back on how quickly Griffith can shift personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like going from like smiling, happy, kind of childish, to immediately cold-blooded tactical killer whenever he needs to.
Oh, and you see that exponentially whenever it comes to the ball.
Yeah. I think one of the more terrifying panels in this entire manga is when he's talking to Minister Foss. And it just cuts to Griffith down the hall looking at Foss. All he's doing is looking at him, but you see the real Griffith coming through.
You get the real Griffith every once in a while, and especially after Guts leaves.
I got the panel saved just for the purpose. Like 2 days ago, I just randomly was thinking I should have this on my computer.
Yep.
Like those eyes, Griffith was like this from the get go. Like it wasn't like the God Hand that turned him into this evil maniac.
Well, yeah, that's one of the points that Ubik brought up. Like, like the fact that you are the way you are is why you gotta bail it in the first place.
Yeah.
Man.
Anything to sacrifice to get that home in Beverly Hills.
That's where I want to be.
That's where I want to be.
Listen, Griffith just wanted to be king of the lollies, okay?
So, speaking of the lolly, do you remember whenever Guts and Casca were having their thing off somewhere in the woods, and it flashes back and forth between Guts and Casca and Griffith and Charlotte, and how like there's passion with Casca and Guts, and then there's nothing with Griffith because all Griffith can think of is Guts and Casca the entire time. And how much he is jealous of Guts for what Guts has compared to what Griffith has.
Which is weird.
Yeah. It's kind of a Count of Monte Cristo esque, right? With Renan and Edmond.
That's a very good way to put it.
It was like you like Guts is like, okay, I don't know what I want to do, but I need to go do it. It was like, no, you can't do that because I don't want you to. You belong to me. I'm like I own you. You can't.
I don't think that is
And then,
Griffith's even true. I don't think that's even Griffith's true feelings. That's just the card that he can play at that time. I think that his true feelings are that Guts is his friend and he doesn't want him to go, and he's that jealous and that possessive of Guts that he's like, I'm gonna play this card. You belong to me. If you want to leave, you have to kill me.
like, and you can't because like we found out 3 years ago, I'm a better swordsman. Like, well,
Yeah, well, like that was like the last thing that Griffith said as a human. That like only Guts was like the person who could stray away his heart from his true desires.
Only you could make me forget my dream.
Yes, yes, that was the line. And yeah, like there was like a true friendship between the two, but like it really is just like Guts made the right move. Griffith is a fucking psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. I think that that Guts really did humanize Griffith, and if Guts had stuck around, Griffith never would have activated the Bailet.
You think so? Because like if oh well, I can't say that because that would go into spoilers. But that pretty much is going to be like an explanation of like what exactly would have happened if Guts just stays with Griffith and just like hangs around in the area. Because like there's got to be a good explanation for that. Don't worry. Like lore wise, like what is happening in like Midland.
Well,
like,
I still don't think that he would have activated the Bailet, at least, given the Griffith that we have then.
You will see. You will see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guess I can't talk about it.
Well, you can, of course, but it's just like the story has like an explanation for it. That's what I'm saying. But like in like a few days, you gotta understand why.
Yep. It's just if he had stuck, Guts in a way grounded Griffith, and if Guts had stuck around, Griffith was on the way to becoming king of Midland. And as far as I know, Midland is under attack by the Kushan.
Yes.
Kushan.
Yeah.
The Kushan. I fairly firmly believe that if Griffith remained in the king's good graces and everything, he would have married Charlotte. What was the number? 7/10 of Midland's army wouldn't be out looking for Griffith for 2 fucking years. That's literally the figure that Laban gave in the recent chapter, that the king is just old and crazy now because Griffith basically broke his mind. And he has 7/10 of the army, of Midland's entire army, out looking for Griffith and not keeping the peace or anything.
Well, you'll see, like, the Kushans are not just a regular army, I'll say that. So, like, with the way the Kushans are, like, if Guts had stayed, and if Griffith had been, like the White Phoenix General, events would have transpired that would have probably ended up making Griffith activate the Bailet anyway.
You keep trailing off. What'd you say at the end?
Like the way the Kushans are, if Griffith had stayed the White Phoenix General, like, and engaged the Kushans, then shit would have transpired that would have made Griffith activate the Bailet. That's my belief, anyway.
Well, yeah, okay, that's a bit spoiled, but yes. Yeah. But basically, they are like demons as well, partly.
I mean, I didn't say that, Mark. Fucking
Mark, you are the worst when it comes to spoiler talk.
don't worry.
The amount of times that you told me stuff that is like just straight up spoiler.
Well, you're welcome.
I mean, all I told him was, bro.
I do not mind spoilers at all because all I care about is the writing. Well, it's not all I care about. I also care about the emotional resonance. But
well, I just like the fact. Well, Bears hinted at it, so I might as well spoil the entire fucking thing.
yeah, that's great.
I mean, think about
really
it.
don't mind. Like spoilers do not affect my enjoyment of a thing.
Okay, but like, what kind of like human opponent would like oppose Guts? Like none. Like he is like the peak. He's peak human. Even like before like the
100 man slayer.
yeah, like he can fuck over all of them.
100 and a men's.
All he needs is a good sword that doesn't break.
Yeah.
Like think about like if he had like his long sword in the Eclipse, because he had it broke like against Wild. Yeah.
He still would have gotten fucked up, but like yeah, a lot more demons would have died if he had had his sword.
Yeah.
It's like he was fucking him up with a dagger.
Shit.
He was fucking him up with a horn.
Oh,
Yeah, a dagger and a horn that he took off of one of the demons.
Which is hilarious.
Speaking of the ball, Adonis got stabbed.
Yeah.
Who?
And like this is one of those like
Who?
little kid that got stabbed.
Oh yeah.
Like this is really good. Like flashback to Guts and Gambino.
There's so many parallels to do.
Yeah, and Guts accidentally killing Adonis kind of fucked him up in the head. Because, as Zach knows from reading Lost Children, Guts doesn't like to hurt children.
And he has to in Lost Children, he has to like dig deep, like actually push away his normal human emotions and just feed into the hatred.
He goes from Guts to bad Guts.
Yeah.
Well, I think he puts it as he just blacks it out and is driven only by his will to kill. And and I've seen it a few times now that his will to kill, it manifests itself as a giant black dog and keeps trying to keep him killing. And it's like what Goto said, that your heart is a sword and vengeance is a bath of blood that you dip it in to fill in the nicks, and then it rusts, and then you dip it in again, and then it rusts until all that's left is rust and scraps. And I think Guts is trying not to succumb to that.
And that's what he would have. Like, if Guts had the ability, like the Lost Children was like the perfect way of showing how far Guts had gone, because he has the capability, as we saw there, to black out everything and just kill for the sake of killing. If he can do that with as sensitive as he is to children, then like there's nothing else that can stop him from doing the most heinous shit possible in order to get at an apostle.
Well, he took a swing at Rosine while she was holding Jill. And you can argue that, he didn't see her holding Jill. He still swung to kill. And would have killed them both if he had gotten a hit.
Yeah, but then Jill's dad kind of stopped him.
No, that was before. This is like when Rosine took Jill. When he was coming out of the lake and just walking towards Rosine laying on the ground. I think he probably would have swung.
Yeah, if not for the fact that the Holy See were right there. And he was fucked up.
And so that's really the only thing that stopped him from, I guess, giving in completely.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the fact that he even had to block that out, you know just how traumatizing the whole event was once you realized that, oh, these things are children.
that one fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I posted it in the group chat, but yeah, that one fucked me up. I was I was so for it when he used the Dragon Slayer as a fucking fly swatter.
Mm-hmm.
I was all about it.
Like, sweet, that's awesome. Oh.
I was all about it. Then he picks up the little kid on the sword, just starts charging forward. Like guts, 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 guts. That is not what you do.
He made good bait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just the pile of burning children. I don't know how you can animate that.
Mm.
With a good animation team.
Well, maybe like have them like you'd have to adjust the depiction of it a little bit, I would think.
Adjust the angle, if anything.
Well, I was thinking like have the aftermath and it'd be like, oh wait, or have the fire not be quite as intense, and then people go to look at the aftermath, and it's like, oh, these are a bunch of children in this fire. These are a bunch of children's corpses. What the fuck?
Yeah, the entire Lost Children arc was super fucked. But going back to the Golden Age, uh, what more can we talk about?
The relationship between Casca and Guts.
Yeah, it's on screen. We might as well.
It's a really good dynamic. I like one of the few romantic relationship that like where like I'm like so invested in like relationship between them that like it's one of the main reasons why I read Berserk, because I want to have a happy ending for those two. But it's
Mhm.
just like every single turn, like it just like goes one step ahead and two step backwards in like different ways. It's so tragic and like but happy at sometimes, but like you see like some light at the end of the tunnel. Uh, yeah, like what do you think about that, Zach?
I think their relationship was very well built. Um, yeah, falling off the cliff and Guts trying to take care of her while she's, feverish. Finally offered them I'll say this, some vulnerable alone time where they can both be authentic with each other and really get everything out. Because she has been very mean to him, but she feels is a good reason, for good reasons. He, to her, is nothing more than a bloodthirsty killer that charges ahead and puts Griffith's plans at risk and all this stuff. And her to him, she's just a jealous commander that just hates his guts and will never accept him. This allowed them to basically just air out everything and finally be vulnerable with one another. Learn what makes the other person tick. Learn what the other person's motivations are. And I think it's done very, very well. The 100-man fight, the thing that kind of ascended Guts into legend, was done to protect Casca.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be a recurring thing, like
And
the
like
things that like he's gonna do for Casca.
and like in true Guts fashion, like he doesn't really describe. He didn't get a flashback arc with her where he could talk his feelings out. She just finally understood through his actions why he is the way he is on the battlefield. Like he charges in specifically because he's the strongest out of the Hawks Raiders. Like if I can't kill the enemy, the rest of you can't kill him. Like that's why, because he knows that he can, and he wants to protect the people that he cares about. Like, and during that 100-man fight, that finally clicked for her.
And it's even talked about during the Campfire of Dreams that he knows each one of his soldiers intimately. He knows their purposes in life, their dreams, what motivates them, what their hobbies are, what they like to drink. He knows each of them intimately. They're all his friends. And that's why he wants to protect them. And again, he doesn't say this to Casca. That's why he rushes in first. And I think that's just a conclusion that Casca comes to on her own. The Campfire of Dreams was another big turning point for Guts. I can't remember if... Oh yeah. It was after Griffith was talking all that shit about being his equal and stuff.
Real friendship, not all that bullshit.
Yeah, this is a weird scene.
How is it weird?
It was like you see like a bit of humanity from Griffith. It's just like, but once you like read like a lot of like the post eclipse panels, it's just like so weird to like see him express things like this, like doubt, like of his actions, like the sacrifices he's willing to make for his dream, and yeah, it is kind of a conflict for him.
Which again makes Griffith more than just a two-dimensional character.
Oh yeah,
He's actually
absolutely.
three-dimensional.
He is, he is at least three-dimensional. Yeah, although like I would say like his abilities are four-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Casca's and Guts' relationship is very well built. It does follow a logical through line. This happens because this happens, therefore this happens, and so on. It's not just... And then she's nice to him because he grew up hot. Like, Nate. No, it actually works really, really well. And she's really the only one that she feels weak around. Or he is the only one that she feels weak around because, you see all this shit happening and she can do like almost nothing. She can watch his back a little bit and then he's like, get the fuck out of here now. So that elevates him to another status, at least for her. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about it.
Like that one penalty that like Guts is like willing to take an arrow just so Casca can be saved. It's just like, it's so in his character to do something like that.
Yep. What's next?
After this, it would be... I'm trying to remember. After the 100-man fight... Yep, keep going. He's found again by the Band of the Hawk.
After this is
happy to see him.
After this is Doldry.
That's right. Yep.
With Griffith's rapist.
Is it rape if you do it for money?
I guess not.
Griffith willingly does it for money
Yeah.
to help fund the Band of the Hawk.
Feels stanky afterwards, though.
Oh, yeah.
To the point of like self-mutilation. So, what do you think of the combat tactics of the Doldry Castle?
What combat tactics?
No, like Griffith, Griffith knowing that Genin was obsessed with him, and using that.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Like Griffith taking that gamble and knowing that he was obsessed with him is good. But yeah, all of I love that panel. Just smacks Casca on the ass. Yeah, that what to even say about it? It was such a shitty plan from the forces of Doldry, to the point that they left the gates open.
Well, when you
fucking
have that
gates were-
incompetent captain as like defender of the castle,
Yeah,
it was
I
bound to happen.
I couldn't fucking believe that the gates were left open. That's what like almost broke me when I was reading through
It's a
that. I'm like,
surprise attack, except not, because the Hawks were expecting that to happen.
Not only were they expecting it to happen, they kind of knew it would happen because of just how incompetent the guards were.
Yeah,
it was a very okay moment for me where I just kind of accepted it. But I'm like, man, I would think that the first step in a siege is close the gates.
like a fight, the Guts' fight with like the leader of the Purple Rhino army.
Was amazing.
That was amazing. But like the best part about it is when Zod just shows up and like throws the sword. Guts. Like,
No one's allowed to kill
love
you
it.
but me.
Exactly. Like no, that was some bullshit. All right, here's another sword, Guts.
That was some bullshit. I know
And
you're
they
better than
didn't
this.
include that scene in the Netflix trilogy. Like it was like, what? Why?
Yeah, he just picked up a
Netflix
banner.
trilogy, there's only two.
There's three.
Three of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's three of the Golden Age movies.
Oh, the Golden Age
Golden Egg.
movies. I thought you were talking about the Netflix seasons.
Well, it wasn't like Netflix, but like I believe like I don't know like who commissioned those, but
It's
I
It's
never liked them.
understandable. It's understandable because Cyrec, Netflix. Oh wait, shitty thing. Oh yeah, it must be.
Only Arcane is actually good from Netflix. And,
The new Bastard anime is actually pretty good from Netflix.
oh yeah, they got the rights for that. And part 6 of JoJo.
Yeah, the part 6 JoJo's is awful. They strayed away from the manga quite a bit. But
As opposed to
Berserk,
the rest of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure being awful.
Bro.
I mean, there's part 7 to look forward to.
Yes. The
It-
cowboy
Horse race
part.
is-
it's the best part.
Yes.
I'm saying that as someone who hasn't read part 8, but I'm on it.
having read part 8, they flow into one another very, very well.
Okay. But yeah,
But,
I like
yeah.
that's the little bit of characterization for Zod in that moment.
No one's allowed to kill you but me.
Mm-hmm.
It is bullshit reason of like how he loses the sword, so it is understandable that he feels pity. Like, okay, fuck you, I'm going.
Like, yeah, like what the fuck? Your sword failed. All right, let's go.
Okay, this is just bad management, dude. I know you can do better.
It's like, no, ain't no human niggas about to kill you. No.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. Again, all the tactics from the Doldry army were absolute shit.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that Guts just pulls out a knife. Fuck it.
I think another tactic that, or something else that overshadowed the tactics of the Doldry army was their fucking ego.
Mm-hmm.
Because if their ego wasn't as big as it was, because they're like, oh, they're bringing in a very small army, we can handle this, and not
Yeah.
realizing that's the Band of the Hawk until it's too late.
If we got him
Kinda-
6-1,
Kind of
that's
fucked
fine.
himself.
We got him 6-1. That's fine. Doldry is impregnable. That's fine. We ain't gotta try. Like, well, actually, yeah, you do. You have to try, and you didn't. That's why you lost. And after Doldry is the duel.
Well, the characterization during the Doldry arc was really, really good. It's a little cheapened by Chapter 83. It's by a little, I mean it is absolutely cheapened by Chapter 83.
Why do you think Chapter 83 has been omitted from every volume release after it was released in single issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Again, I just keep falling back to Chapter 83. It doesn't feel like Miura wrote it. It's so weird.
What if it was one of the chapters that Mori wrote and just like told it like,
Oh,
you know,
no.
like okay, just
How
put
dare
it in.
you?
Oh,
No.
Don't you introduce those? Did he write it?
No.
Okay.
Having
No.
seen Mori's works and his tribute to Miura, no, he couldn't have written that.
You know what? I think Miura was just drunk. He had a
Probably.
bad day.
It was during the cocaine years, the Stephen
That's
King
bad
years.
day. Take it one down.
And like we've
You
said
write a
before,
bad
Miura
chapter,
is
then
like
you turn it around.
you omit it completely.
Yeah, I'm looking
yeah,
at Chapter 83 right now, and it's just like, what
Why?
the fuck?
Why would you torture yourself with that?
But Zach, Casca is in a
Yeah,
dress
Cassie's
right
in a
now.
pretty dress.
Yeah,
Doesn't
like,
really. She looks
Casca
really
is
nice
in a very, very pretty dress.
And just elbow checks go.
for staring at her.
I really like the characterization between Guts and Casca. I really do.
And I think, man, Guts not thinking that he could have Casca. Guts just doesn't think he could have Casca here. He doesn't. He thinks he doesn't measure up to Griffith, and Griffith is her true object of desire. When it's like, no, idiot, she likes you.
And that's like going back to what I was saying earlier. He does not understand the impact he has on people. Like because he devalues himself to the point where he just all he thinks he is his sword arm. But he only sees himself as a weapon of war. He doesn't understand like his personality, who he is, how he acts around people. Has an effect on them. A major one.
Also, I just want to say something that I do like about the 97 anime compared to the manga. Guts uses a different sword in the 97 anime than he does in the manga because he's using his normal sword here, the assassination.
No, I think that's the sword he actually did get in replacement of the one that broke. I think you're thinking of the assassination
Oh yeah. I'm thinking of the assassination of
Yeah, where he took the
Julius.
big fuck off sword.
yeah.
That's one of the things that happened in the Golden Age movies. Like, yeah, they gave him a regular arming sword,
Instead
and
of
so
his
he's just
big fuck off sword.
It's like, and literally, like, he's known for wielding that. Like, hey, hey, there's a guy, really, really tall guy in the Band of the Hawk, and he wields a sword. It's 50 pounds, and it's about as tall as he is. Hey, there's a guy in the castle gates who just killed Julius and Adonis, who's really tall and has
He
a
had
50
some
pound
arrow
sword,
wounds on
as
him.
long as he is.
Totally not him.
Yeah, nah.
And this is what I was talking about before with the mall scene, where you get to see just how manipulative Griffith is, because he faked his own death
Mm-hmm.
because he knew it was coming. He knew that he was going to be poisoned, so he had it swapped out for a sleeping agent, and had Guts go kill everybody that was standing in the way of him.
Mm-hmm.
And Guts, being the loyal friend that he is, did it.
Well, wearing a sweet hat, too. And then the duel.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the duel.
Duel of the Fates.
Here
Here we go. This is the duel. As he's saying goodbye to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Like, one of my favorite things about Corcus, though, is like once you get past his just general "I'm an asshole" shit, like the stuff he says to Guts more often than not is true, just said in an asshole way.
Yeah, I really liked how straight up he was. Like, I never liked you. You're really annoying me.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out of my face.
I mean, like most of the stuff that Corcus was saying is like you're throwing away a great opportunity, an opportunity that nobody else in the world can have, and you're a dumbass for doing it.
Yeah.
And then what happened? And then what happened? Guts came to realize exactly what Corcus said.
Yeah, but like it's all because like Guts heard that what Griffith said near the fountain, that like he just wants to be an equal to Griffith so he can be his true friend.
Yeah,
That's
but like,
that's my idea, like why he does all of these things.
oh yeah, like, but that's like one of those things with Griffith. Like, you don't know if Griffith actually means that or not.
Yes,
If he's just being silver tongued to impress the princess to get her dripping,
definitely.
or if he actually
yeah.
thinks that. Like, and if he does actually think that, then he doesn't understand himself at all. Because at this point, he does see Guts as his friend. And like we said at the eclipse, the one person that can distract him from his dream. It's like a random soldier, like tens of thousands of random soldiers that died fighting under his banner. Didn't give a shit about a single one of them. But Guts leaving the band, that's what broke him. That's what made him do all the shit that led to his torture. Like, that doesn't just happen when some random soldier leaves. Like, that is your best friend, like, kicking himself out of your life. That's how painful that shit is.
I think again, his characterization here and following everything that we know about Griffith up to this point, it's very much in line with his character. He's very possessive, and on the outside, you might be like, no, he just wants Guts as a tool to achieve his dream, but really,
That's part of it.
the main gist of it is that Guts is his friend, and he doesn't want him to go.
Is
But
it
because
really?
he, well, yeah, because he can't Griffith has never really had moments of introspection. He doesn't understand himself and why he thinks the way he does and feels the way he feels. Like, so if he had had an introspective moment and he saw Guts is getting ready to leave, if he had like understood anything about himself, this wouldn't have happened. Like, he could have resolved things peacefully when Guts gave him the chance to resolve things peacefully. Like, if Griffith was like a fully actualized human being, like, he would have tried to stop Guts, like figure out why Guts is going and all that shit. And then like Guts most likely would have left either way. In spite of what Griffith might have said to him. But at the very least, there wouldn't have been this fucking massive out of control spiral that Griffith went down. Because he, like I said, he does not know who he is and why he does the things he does and feels the way he feels on a subconscious level. It's only just the here and now that Griffith is obsessed with.
And you can see Griffith in his eyes. And Mira is really good about this. You can see that he is broken because of how his eyes are. Because he realizes that he lost his one true friend out of the Band of the Hawk.
And he doesn't know how to process.
Nope. Because he's never lost anything that he wanted to have control over his entire life.
And the only way of processing that he had was to reassert dominance over somebody under his control. And immediately try to get back to his dream, which is why he fucked the princess.
Hey, Skull Knight.
Yeah, boy.
A good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Also known as Guy Sarek.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, Rick.
Guy Sarek.
Gazerick.
Also, one thing you'll know, Zach, is Mira likes to do this thing where he foreshadows something, but he gives you all the answers immediately. And then things will start falling in place more and more. And the answer will be very, very blatant. But it won't be until the actual reveal that you're like, oh shit.
I'm okay with that. And I think I don't know. Bear was telling me that someone doesn't think that the Skull Knight is Guy Sarek.
Yeah, I did because like what was that? Like I can't remember the YouTube channel, but like it was like trying to make a video of like what is the ending of Berserk, and
I saw that video. Yeah,
and like the guy mentioned that like, well, is the Skull Knight the King Emperor Geyserik? And I was like, yes, he is. Like it's in
quite
chapter
obviously.
40.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like
Yeah.
Guts even like makes like a facial expression that like, oh wait, that's the guy. Yeah, it's how much more evidence do you need?
Like, literally, ancient times, like 1,000 years ago, there was this great empire where we used to be right now. And it was led by a really, really big guy on a horse who uses a sword and a kite shield and wears a skull mask.
Yeah, and Slan literally calls him Your Majesty. How much more hints do you need?
Yeah. And I saw that video and I was like, please tell me they're not going where they're going, where I think he's going. And
Yeah,
he went there. He went there because of Geyserik's helmet. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. You're retarded.
Apparently, someone in one of the comments it was like, "What if Guts is Guy Sarek?"
Oh,
What?
come on,
What?
no.
Yeah, someone was like literally talking about like, "What if Guts is the Skull Knight?"
How could
He time
if Guts was the skull? If Guts was the Skull Knight, the eclipse would not have happened.
No.
Exactly.
He finds the DeLorean and like goes back in time.
The thing was like the God Hand Aku's guts.
I mean, they can rip over space time. We saw that.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's literally like the logic. They're like, oh, Guts is gonna get Aku'd.
Dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Extra thick.
I, Femto, the shape-shifting master of evil, but a foolish German knight wielding a very, very, very big sword stepped forth to oppose me. Nah, I'm good.
Oh, I want Mako to voice Femto.
Jeez. Isn't he dead though?
He is.
He has been dead for
Oh.
50 years now.
Okay.
It makes it even better.
Oh God, that guy.
Anyway.
The sex scene.
Sex.
That was less of a sex scene and more. I wouldn't really know how to describe. It wouldn't really be masturbation because, like Griffith wasn't into it. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that was.
Well,
It was-
I guess like Charlotte was into it.
Like, I guess it'd be like emotional vomiting. I guess.
It was him trying to cope with it in some way, and it not really working out.
You were coping and seizing.
What's the matter, King? Jealous you didn't get to fuck your own daughter?
I was like, yes, I am. The torture chamber with you.
God,
Oh my goodness.
the torture scenes were, oh, like, yeah, Griffith's a bad dude.
I got to Amazgus torturing people.
hmm
Yeah, but he's
That was
doing it
rough.
because he loves them.
hmm
Well, there you go. See? He's not a bad guy.
No, Mosgus is not totally good guy.
See? He's doing it because he loves them.
hmm
He loves minors.
God. Oh, well, he is bald, so he does fit the Sundowner. Oh my
He's
God!
also got a flat face.
No.
Moz
yeah.
Downer. Moz
Yeah.
Downer.
I was about to spoil something, but
What? Is Mozgus fucking invincible? Is that the spoiler? Mozgus is fucking invincible.
You'll see.
yeah, you'll see.
Oh, please tell me. Please tell me he says I'm invincible.
No, he says something different.
Unfortunately,
But-
it doesn't
Unfortunately,
like-
not.
Yeah,
I mean, we have Donovan, so
yeah.
why?
Dawn
the second
Downer.
Dawn Downer. Yes.
Dawn Downer. Red Dawn over Paradise.
Hey, look, it's the best cushion.
Wait, me, Casca?
Well, second best cushion.
There you go.
Is he Koshan or is he just the
It's-
butter?
He's Kushan. I saw him in a chapter recently.
Yes.
He's
No, I'm-
Casca. Casca's.
it's my headcanon that Casca
Wide.
is Kushan. Because, like, the Kushans are, like, right next to Midland. And
Yes.
Casca
If
was, like,
anything- if
Casca
anything,
grew up in, like, a
Casca is half
border.
cushion.
Yes.
yeah. Like, she grew up, she specifically mentioned that she grew up in a town that borders, like what we assume is the Kushan Empire in Midland. And then
Yeah.
because of the constant skirmishing, it would, at least to me, it makes sense that it's, constant back and forth between the Kushans and Midland. And she's just caught in the middle. Like, that would, at least to me, explain her skin color and hair color.
her
Yeah,
blackness
and her eye color. And her eye color.
Yeah.
and her blackness.
Oh, I mean, she wouldn't really be black. She'd be like a...
Her brownness.
Tan. She's tan.
Yeah.
Olive skin.
Yeah,
Her brownness.
like a southern Asian, you know.
More
Yeah,
in
Texas
line
woman.
with Greek.
Well, no, she's darker than a Greek.
Her
barely.
amogus.
Bermogus, yeah. Like, yeah, I'd say something along the lines of like Indian or maybe Burmese, something like that.
Yes.
Hungarian.
Hungarian. Yeah. Okay.
No, Mark's the only black Hungarian.
God, it's so
calling
weird
me an
seeing young
African
Rickard.
American.
I thought Mark was Jewish.
Well, partly yes.
He's a black Jew. He's a black Jew Hungarian.
I just want to. It's so weird seeing Rickard now compared to young Rickard. Just because
his rap
young
name.
Rickard had a fucking. He had a fucking bowl cut.
Mm-hmm.
We
And
lost
now
Mark.
he's just got the long hair. Oh no. Is it because he was
The
doing
Inquisition
spoil
got
again?
the Inquisition got the black Jew
but I
Mark.
still have my foreskin, okay?
He still has his foreskin, ladies. Why do we keep losing Griffin in 3D?
Because spoilers.
Because spoilers? What?
The Jews are taking over.
Oh no.
Are you taking over? Are you threatening Master Jew?
All right, what's next?
The duel.
Next will be the eclipse.
Yeah.
Not too much to talk about with Guts coming back and everything. I mean, there's
Yeah.
them
There's also the
consecrating
date.
their relationship, doing a sex.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that is like a really good, like, in perfect contrast between like night and day contrast between Charlotte and Griffith.
Yeah, and this entire duel between Casca and Griffith.
Guts.
What did I say?
Guts. You
Griffith.
said Griffith.
Guts. This entire duel between Casca and Guts was really well done, really well paced. It's how Casca just gets her emotions out, and of course Guts just ends up taking the hit, and it kind of snaps her out of it.
Like, there's one like thing I do enjoy, like Casca's battle intelligence, because like almost all the strikes that she went at Guts with were designed at keeping him from drawing his sword.
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Kitty.
she was very, very smart about that.
Mm-hmm. It's just that she's so fucking worn out from all the shit that the Band of the Hawk had to go through, and just sleep deprivation that she couldn't really handle.
Yeah.
And she tries to kill herself.
Yeah.
Guts letting himself be stabbed was just, yeah. He really didn't care if like he gets hurt.
Like, and like the realization that Guts had, like, oh wait, I actually matter to people. There's no way that somebody as insignificant as me could have made Griffith like lose his way, right? And then yeah, Casca has to fucking yell at him like, "You're fucking stupid."
You're fucking stupid. Griffith is no good without you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What would happen next would be. Well,
No, we haven't really discussed Guts finally being vulnerable as well.
Oh yeah.
Before that, though, I
one
gotta
of the few
go
times.
watch it because it's kind of late here. But
Okay.
it was great hanging out with you guys.
Yep, I kind of want to like wrap this up anyway because like I haven't had anything to eat since like 11 o'clock. So
That's fair.
Right. Good night, guys.
We could pick
night,
up at
Mark.
the eclipse next time.
Yeah, we can absolutely run about this time next week.
Yeah.
It was really good talking about this.
Yep.
Yeah, to summarize my thoughts, I've been enjoying reading Berserk so far. The writing has been immaculate. The characterization of each person in this manga is again immaculate.
And it's only going to get
The
better.
the characters are incredibly well fleshed out. Even side characters that you normally wouldn't or shouldn't give a fuck about. And someone like Pippin, big guy, but then he's shown he's actually really smart and he only speaks when he needs to. Stop. God damn it. Fucking cat. Clawing up my bed. The fact that everything is following a cause and effect pattern is again something you don't get to see very often anymore. You don't get to see a whole lot of therefore or but or however. You see a whole lot of and then and then and then. It's just not something I get to see very much anymore. It's not clean. It's very real. It's very real. And the way situations would play out, the hero doesn't always get to kill the big bad evil guy. So it perfectly, I think, encapsulates what it means. My catchphrase in life is keep moving forward. And I think Guts encapsulates that very, very well. Even after everything that's happened to him, he's just moving forward. The thought of killing himself has never really occurred to him, even after all the trauma that he's been through. How many people in his life have tried to kill themselves?
Mm-hmm.
How many suicides has he stopped?
Several.
It's just a great way to encapsulate the human condition. The human condition is suffering, but it's how you deal with that suffering that defines you.
And it's honestly one of the greatest things to read on any forum about how Berserk has touched people and helped them through their own traumas. Because
Mhm.
that's what the story does to people, is it helps them through trauma. Like whenever I started reading Berserk, I was in 8th grade back in 2008. And that was just after my dad passed away. And it helped me through that and helped me form a way to get out my frustrations and my grief. And then I've heard combat vets saying that they look up and aspire to Guts because he's a cripple. He's a combat. He has combat injuries. And yeah, it may be a fantastical way of telling it, but they can still relate to him and the trauma that he's suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And in my own personal life, I resonated a lot with Gus and his realization that he constantly just throws things that he values away just at the drop of a hat. My dumbass has done exactly that too in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when you finally realize that you have to, like, you when you realize that you have to come to grips with it, and then keep moving forward. You can't change the past. The past is done. Like nothing you can do can fix it. So you have to just keep your head up, keep struggling, and keep moving.
Yep. Just keep pushing forward.
Very well
That's
put.
the best way to describe it is just keep going no matter what adversity you have that's in the past, and you make your own future.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. We will see you guys about this time next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye
Later.
bye.